What's going on, my friends? Hope you're having a good day, and I hope you're having a good week as always. I hope you enjoyed the debate, Trump versus Biden, like I did. I have a list for you guys. It's like Amy Coney Barrett's list, except it's full. And I took some notes, at least on the topics and to talk about them. So we're going to go through a few things that happened. Let me know what you think. I loved the debate personally. I thought it was hilarious, and I think that this format actually was better, even though they were cutting off mics and setting times. I actually thought it was the best debate. And real quick, as everybody's coming into my live stream, I want to show you, because at the end, Joe Biden, he got really angry. I don't know what you guys think, but Trump has kind eyes. He has like nice eyes. He's very authentic. He's very funny. I'm laughing the whole time. Biden has that angry energy, like women that have like post-traumatic stress with like, angry guys. They're like he's got that type of angry. His eyes are like, look scary. He creeps me out, but that's just me. But he got really upset when Trump said that you said you weren't into fracking. He's like, no, I'm for fracking. I'm for fracking. He got all upset because he needs to win Pennsylvania and they don't like that. So here's a video. Trump just posted this video. Here's him actually saying what Trump said. Here it is real quick.
Any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated and no more subsidies for either one of those.
I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel. No new fracking. I gradually move away from fracking.
And I think it's critically important on day one that we end any fossil fuel leases on public lands.
What about, say, stopping fracking and stopping the pipeline infrastructure and
They want to do the same thing I want to do. They want to phase out fossil fuels, and we're going to phase out fossil fuels.
There's no question.
All right, that's enough. I just wanted to show you, and this is why, for the people that still blame Russia for everything, although they do some stuff, this is why Trump won. It's like, are you for or against fracking? Just be honest about it. Bernie Sanders is against it. AOC is against it. I respect them more. It's like, listen, we don't like fracking. We think it's bad. Biden, he says he's for it, not for it. And then you say, you said you're not for it. He's like, I did not say. He's like screaming. The dude is a weirdo. But I just wanted to show that clip because he claimed he never said it and got all angry at the moderator. So let's start off on the analysis. Thank you guys for being here. God bless you. And thank you, Facebook, for letting me go live. I know you're trying to shut down my page. You got demonetization. You took away my live stream stars, so I can't make any money, but which is fine. I'll make it elsewise. I don't care. But you losers are always rigging my page. They admitted that they're taking away my reach and stuff. So who knows? If they didn't do that, maybe I'd have 10, 15,000 people there, because my posts are still one of the biggest pages on Facebook, even though they rigged it. I'm sure they probably want to rig it more or something. But anyway, that was a special shout out. Let's talk about the moderator. I don't want to get worked up. This moderator, I have to say, listen, I'm very critical. I thought she was the best of the entire season, and I thought the format was actually good. It's hard to get a clean debate sometimes when people are interrupting each other. I thought she did better. I definitely think she interrupted Trump more than she interrupted Biden. Like, she was always trying to debate Trump like 6 or 7 times or so. And then with Biden, I don't know that she ever really, interrupted him. But I will say it is what it is. I'm used to like a 90-10 rig, so just a little bit of a rig. I'm not that mad at it. You know what I'm saying? You could rig it a little bit, make it 2-on-1. I thought Trump dominated. So although I think she was a little less fair to Trump, not so much so that it really bothered me. I have to say congratulations to the debate commission. That was the best one. I like the format, and I might even get a debate commission shirt, since you guys you listened to our cries, our snowflake cries of the first debates being lame. And I think they actually listened. So congratulations on that. And I also want to say, well, I guess we'll move on to North Korea. Oh, I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, well, I got to move on. So this bothers me before even this debate. I've talked about it forever. With North Korea, if you guys remember, they talked about it. Trump debated, Biden debated. The whole fear-mongering, since I was a kid, I've been afraid North Korea was going to nuke me before I turned 19. Like, everybody told you, like the television, they're going to nuke you, they're going to nuke you. Most kids grow up in fear that they're going to get killed by some crazy, North Korean regime. That was the biggest fear-mongering tactic. And Trump actually does what Obama couldn't do and George Bush, they probably never wanted to do. He got along with North Korea. And then the media and Joe Biden flip it and try to say, well, you're getting along with a thug and a dictator. People need to wake up to what I'm talking about, because these are the games that they play. They're like a magician where they could take both sides of a stance. I'm for fracking, I'm against fracking. If you're not friends with North Korea, they're going to kill you. If you are friends with North Korea, that's a bad thing. They have unlimited games to play. I thought Trump explained that perfectly, and Biden took the stance of the media, which is be afraid that it's like they never stop the fear mongering. It's like doom and gloom and everybody's going to die because of COVID and, vote for me. And I was impressed. The debate moderator actually challenged Joe Biden a little bit, and I think he wasn't really ready for that. I don't know how often he gets challenged, so congrats on that. I'm going to move to something that Biden said, and this is just stuff that stuck out to me. You can let me know in the comment sections if I missed something. I can't go over the whole debate. But Joe Biden talked about a COVID spike. He said, you're responsible for a COVID spike, or, Republicans, there's a COVID spike because we're not locking down or wearing masks. Like, he's trying to make the case that there's a big spike in states that aren't doing what Democrat state did, which is more lockdowns, more mask mandates, more destruction of businesses, and that leads to more exoduses. There's an exodus in San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York City. People are leaving because no one wants to be there because it's not fun and you can't really operate normally because of the Democratic Party. But he talked about the COVID spike, and I actually got censored. This might be why they took my money away from Facebook, part of it. I got censored in a video for showing you the real data, the science that they claim to care about. If you look, and you can go to worldometers.info or any major site where they're keeping the data, if you search death per capita, they have that on the right side, not cases, because what really matters, I think, deaths. If you get COVID and you heal, that's a good thing. It's like getting common cold and healing, or the flu and healing, or something worse, like pneumonia or cancer and healing. We want less people to die. So the biggest metric that they never want to talk about is deaths per capita. Who killed the most people? The top 2 worst states, and I get censored every time I say this, even though it's the data coming from Johns Hopkins and all these big scientists and such. The 2 worst states in deaths per capita are New York and New Jersey. They're the worst states, and every time I say it, I put the real data from their own websites, and they fact check me and steal all my stuff. This is the truth. Democrat states, more people are dying. So they talk about the spike in Florida and the spike over here. Look at the data. Look at the data. So Trump was right to say that, and Cuomo and the Democrats and Biden and the media, they want to rewrite history. Like, he's got this new book. He's like, I handled it so professionally. Besides New Jersey and Phil Murphy, New York had the most deaths per capita, not just the most deaths per capita, which means, if you're a small island and you have more deaths, you could still raise above that ranks. And mask mandates and lockdowns, show me on that chart, please. Somebody ask the question, which state that didn't lock down had the worst results? If you search countries by death per capita, you'll find out most of the top 10 countries, most of them, a majority, all had lockdowns. Chile had one of the strongest lockdowns, or I'm sorry, maybe it was Peru. I got to check that. Excuse me. I'm going to fact check myself before they do, but look at the list. Most of the states on the top 10 worst list had a lockdown, a big one. One of the biggest lockdowns led to one of the worst results, and Sweden didn't do that, and they're doing better than America. They won't tell you that. Trump won't tell you that. Biden won't tell you that. But he's talking about a spike in cases. First, it's hospitals overwhelmed. Then it's this. Then it's that. Now it's like they're having more cases now. Yeah, but what about the tens of thousands of people dead in your states? What a joke these people are. But I can't even tell you that, or they'll probably try to fact check me and lie about it. Let's move down the chart. Minimum wage they talked about. This also, I hope the American people are paying attention, because I'm looking at, you look at New York, or you look at California, or you look at any state that a Democrat runs, they believe in more shutdowns. Biden is talking about a mask mandate for a year. The Moderator's talking about, a mask mandate till 2022. I was like, excuse me? All the way through 2021? Ridiculous. But they want to shut your businesses down, and then they turn around and he's like, I'm going to help businesses with a minimum wage. 2 things. If you want to help a business, you got to open up your state eventually. So it's Trump trying to keep the businesses alive. They're saying he's killing everybody by trying to keep the businesses alive. And then they turn around and try to say that they're the ones that are saving businesses. And his way is not to let the states operate, but to raise the minimum wage. And the funny part about that is I'm all for bigger wages, but you have to understand, say you do $15 an hour, $16 an hour minimum wage. The big corporations can afford that. The mom and pop shops, your small businesses, your restaurants, your people that only have 1 or 2 employees, not everybody can afford that. Smaller businesses are actually who gets destroyed by government mandated minimum wages. So this idea that that's a solution to help businesses is just not true. And this is the problem with why I'm voting Republican all down the ballot. I used to be liberal when I was younger because I felt like these things were a good idea. And some of them I think still are. But for the most part, it's like, it feels good to give people more money. Of course, let's stop pollution and let's give everybody $15 an hour. I love the thought of it, but if you operate it and it closes tens of thousands of small businesses, and then you have less businesses and you have less jobs, it's not helping the worker. It's not going to help the business owner. It's not going to help anyone. So you got to think through. It's like, I want to get rid of all, pollution. And Trump said this perfectly. In the Paris Climate Accord, does it hold China to the same responsibilities it holds America? No. Does it hold India to the same responsibilities? No. Like Trump said, he said their air is disgusting, which is true. So how are you going to change the climate of the planet, even if you believe in that science, without holding every single country accountable? You're going to have to create like a communist regime that takes over the world, or else China and India aren't listening. And if China and India don't listen, are you doing the math of your own equation to figure out how much carbon they're putting in the air and if you stopping is even going to matter? They don't do this type of math or science. They just scream science. Like, I believe in science. I believe in the science of carbon. I believe in the science of air pollution, but they're the ones who don't believe in science. I'm in Yosemite yesterday, and I'm watching everybody wear a mask outdoors, a cloth mask. Meanwhile, the air is so bad, my clothes smell like a fireplace. So the real science in the area is you're out in the middle of the woods, a reusable cloth mask isn't helping you at all, but an air filtering mask would help your lungs from all the particles. People are just wearing a cloth mask on their face in the middle of a trail where they're probably in one of the most remote locations you could possibly be. It's like you're so afraid of COVID, you're wearing a cloth mask, but you're not afraid that the air quality in some parts of Northern California are like 500. It's worse than Beijing. This is the type of science that they do. It's laughable. So it's like, even if you believe in what you say you believe in, are you going to hold other countries accountable? I thought that was great. And I was laughing like the whole time. On immigration, I can't believe that the moderator actually held Biden and Obama accountable. She said, you know, your administration, I'm paraphrasing, but Obama deported more than Trump. They're talking about how bad Trump is to Mexicans. First of all, illegal immigration is different than legal immigration, so that's a whole different debate. Second of all, even if you're, this is my problem with Democrats. It's like, I don't even agree with them, but even say I did agree with them. I'm like, you know what? I agree. Trump is deporting too many people. They do it more. It's like, it's not even like left versus right or like this idea versus this idea. It's like Trump believes in something versus a chameleon. He is whatever you want. I'm for fracking. I'm against fracking. I'm against deporting, even though I deported the most. I've been there for 40 years, but I'm somehow going to do it differently. I was 8 years in the White House. Who believes this? What is the audience who actually believes these people? They had 8 years. They deported more people than Trump, and now they make him look like a bad guy because he tells the truth about what's really happening at the border. I thought that was brilliant. And Trump brought up the kids in cages. And this is, I have multiple videos from 2 years ago that have millions of views because the first picture that really went viral, they said, Trump, kids in cages, kids in cages. And everyone looked at it and was like, oh my God, that looks, bad. It was a picture from the Obama administration. Trump's totally right. So he didn't invent kids with cages. He didn't even know it's there. And also, it's easy. I'm just going to say it's like the Bubba Smollett, what's his name? Bubba Wallace, the NASCAR driver. You take a picture of a knot that you used to pull down a garage. If you take a picture from far away, it looks like nothing. If you get up close to it, oh my God, it's a noose. It was a rope with a knot that was in everybody's garage. They determined that, but the media still lied about it. They're like, it's still, yeah, if you get up close to it, I can make it look like I'm holding the, hold on. Someone says, I can make it look like I'm holding the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's like, look, the Leaning Tower of Pisa is in my hand. That's called a camera trick, but same thing with the cages. It's like they could be in a resort style living. I'm not saying they were, but you could take a picture of a fence and be like, oh my God. So these are the things that the media doesn't actually think about. They just lie. But even if you want to talk about the cages, that started before the Trump administration. I want to talk about also, this is kind of outside of like some of the policy they're talking about, but I'm a big eye person. A lot of people say eyes are the window to the soul. And energy, as far as the type of energy someone has. If you look at Trump, when they asked him about being racist, they said, blah, 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 or you said this, you said that. He looked genuinely sad. He was just like, I'm the least racist person in this room. He made a joke about how dark the room was. He couldn't see anybody, but he was like, he looked genuinely sad and upset that the whole world thinks he's racist, and he really isn't, and you can see it in his eyes. He has very kind eyes, and he's like, he almost looked like he was going to cry. That's the saddest I've ever seen Trump, and he wasn't like really sad, but he's like, I'm not racist. And like when Biden talks, he just gets angry. The media does so many spins to make you think Trump is this evil, mean person, but he rarely gets mad. He has a better control over himself than I do. And people say I'm like a chill hippie. He's never mad. He's always funny. He's always trolling. He'll do pokes, but when he makes a joke, you're laughing hysterically. I laughed harder than I did at Dave Chappelle's last stand-up where he, talked about Candace Owens. It wasn't really a stand-up. It was more like a political filibuster some sort, and God bless Dave Chappelle. I'm just saying, I laughed harder at this debate. Trump is really funny. When Biden gets upset, his eyes are just beady and evil looking, but he just screams. Like the few times that she actually held him accountable, he's like screaming, I didn't say that. Like, I'm like, dude, the energy is so bad. So I know this is outside policy. A lot of people like policy. I'm gonna get on my hipster spiritual person and say, eyes Trump, and I'm not talking about like, he's talking about where he's like, I'm gonna kiss everybody in the room. I'm not, you remember when he said that? I'm just joking. I'm not on that level. I'm just saying he looks kind and authentic, and Biden just is like, his energy's angry. He's not funny. He's never made a joke. Like Obama was funny at least, or kind of funny. Reagan was funny. This dude's just angry. So I rating F-. I don't know if that matters, but I'm gonna move on to the climate change argument that they talked about at the end, and the energy stuff. I guess I already showed the video. I have another one I'll show you real quick. This is Biden said he wants he wants to win Pennsylvania really bad because Pennsylvania is a key state, and he said both opinions. He said he's for fracking, he's against fracking, he's Mr. Energy Man, and he wants to please the Bernie people. Here's another video of him real quick. I got to keep it real, saying what he said he didn't say. So maybe this will get deleted, fact check or something. He never said this, but
no more drilling on federal lands, no more drilling, including offshore. No ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. Ends. Taking millions of automobiles off the road. No new fracking, not another new coal plant will be built. We both agree that we have a new Green Deal.
All right, so I'm going to do a few more, answer some of your questions, then I'm going to take off. But the last thing I want to talk about was the smoking gun that Trump brought up flawlessly or perfectly, or well done. I don't want to say perfectly and flawlessly because then they'll be like, oh, he's biased. But I do like Trump a lot more. But he brought up the emails. So Biden, the emails of Hunter Biden, which I don't even know if I could talk about. Don't be surprised if your whole screen shuts down now. You say, Hunter Biden's emails. It's like, my phone might explode or something. And they're like, no, don't say that. But he tried to say it's Russia. He's like, it's Russia. It's like, what part of it's Russia? He left his laptop. The story is allegedly, I'll say. He left his laptop at a maintenance thing, didn't pick it up, signed some release that said after a certain amount of days, you don't own it anymore, left it there. And then they investigated it. Apparently it's in the hands of the Delaware FBI. That's what they're reporting. But he's got business people on the email chain who are corroborating that it happened. Who say, that's such a ridiculous excuse. It's like Russia did this. They just say Russia every time they don't get their way. And I told people this in 2016, even before I was like fully awake to everything politically. I was like, I could tell they're lying about Russia. Yes, Russia's a threat. Yes, they've done things in the past and they still do. But everything that doesn't go in the Democrats' way. We lost the election. Russia. Pokemon Go. Russia's making Black Lives Matter names on Pokemon Go. That's fine, but what about what Google, Facebook, and Twitter are doing? Compare the Iranian and the Russia influence. By the way, they're going against Trump, not for Trump, so they don't want him to win because he's tougher on them. But compare that to what Google and Facebook are doing by cutting my reach, by rigging algorithms against anybody who says what they don't want them to say. Twitter, who deletes a story by the New York Post, mainstream news, deletes a story and stops you from posting it like a 1984 sci-fi thriller. You can't even think that on certain social media. Who's rigging the election more? So they just say Russia, Russia, Russia. What a joke. But those emails are everything that they claim that Trump did. Like every single thing that they said Trump did, they studied him for 3 years, couldn't find anything, arrested one of the people who works for him for something they did like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Everything they claim Trump did, Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton did. So this is the classic projection tactics. Accuse your enemies of what you're doing or accuse others of what you're doing. It's like, just keep repeating it. Russia, Russia, Russia. The whole Russia collusion thing was a total joke. It never led to anything because it was a total lie. It was a cover up for what they were doing. And it was a way to manipulate media to say one thing. And then if you try to say the other thing, they attack you. And same with the Ukraine phone call. What did Trump get impeached for, guys? Let's go back. He got impeached for calling Ukraine, not to bribe them, not to get money. He just basically said, I hear something's going on with Joe Biden, because something did go on with Joe Biden. So they do these impeachment and these Russia collusion things to not only try to take President Trump out of office, but to actually hide what they're doing. So now they accuse Trump of working with Ukraine. So now Trump can't even have a phone call with Ukraine. And if he tries to call and figure out what corruption they're doing, they then say, well, his phone call was impeachable. Adam Schiff went in front of Congress. He said all this stuff, got caught because Trump released the transcript. And then Adam Schiff said it was a parody. He lied and got caught lying and said, no, that wasn't real. It was a parody. Trump did nothing illegal. Trump just had a phone conversation. But there's a 2 for 1. 1, you can impeach Trump over nothing. But 2, now Trump can't talk about Russia and Ukraine. Why are they so obsessed over Russia and Ukraine? Look at the Biden family. Look at Hillary Clinton. Look at, the Uranium One deal. Look at what's coming out now on the laptop. And I'm not here tell people what to think or believe, but if this was Trump, this would be all over the news. It's 20 times as credible as the Russia collusion was. It's 100 times as credible as the Steele dossier. It's 1,000 times as credible as the Ukraine impeachment, but they don't even want you to look at this. So I'm going to answer your guys' questions, or at least read what you're saying. But overall, debate recap, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. This format actually helped Trump. And the best thing for Trump is to let Biden talk. This is what I said the first debate. I'm like, why is Trump interrupting him so much? The worst enemy to Biden is Biden speaking. Why do you think he puts a lid on it and doesn't go out to press all day? Why doesn't he campaign as much as Trump? Why don't you see him trying to get all these interviews? Because Biden, it's not really a pro for him to go talk. He's not a good talker. He's not authentic. He's not really all the way there. So he hides and lets the press do the dirty work for him. People like NPR and CNN carry his water. So let him talk. That's what I thought the first debate. I'm like, Trump's interrupting too much. This debate was actually good. They were cutting Trump off because Biden got to talk and everybody got to see what a phony he is. Trump's hilarious. Trump's authentic. I thought this was maybe his best debate ever. And I personally think Joe Biden's a worse candidate than Hillary Clinton. I think he's giving her a run for her money about how corrupt she is, but also like, you know, his mind is not really impressive. His energy is even worse than Hillary Clinton's, which is bizarre. He's a worse candidate than Hillary Clinton. I think a lot of people got to see that. And this election, for me and for others, to me, this is the biggest election of my lifetime, and I've never seen good and evil separate so much. Obama, not a huge fan, but at the time, I guess I kind of liked him. Mitt Romney's a total phony. John McCain was a total phony, rest in peace, but a total phony. So it's like, it didn't really matter if Obama or Romney won. I know a lot of people on the right hate Obama, but it's like, could you imagine if Romney won? A lot of Obama's health care came from Romney care. So it's the same puppets. So I've never seen an election so different. Like that was just a joke. Those 8 years, who cares if Obama won? Romney would have been barely any better, if any better. That guy's a total joke. So to me, like, good and evil is just shifting, and like authenticity, what's real, what's fake, what's true, what's false. You're seeing such a huge shift. And I see, as people are waking up, you see these tech companies and these media companies, they want power and control. They're losing power. You know, before I was allowed to broadcast on Facebook, which was not that long ago, I'm just a citizen. I'm just a guy who was a hip hop artist. I did, you know, social media work, and I'm just not a liar, so people like it. But people like me have risen to the forefront because people are tired of CNN, Fox News. Everyone's tired of these BS liars who put on a suit, or these politicians who talk a big game like Joe Biden, but you listen to him and you know it's just a phrase. He, you know, looks into the camera, talks about oil slick on his car. It's like a pre-prepared line that you know just doesn't mean anything. So this is what's happening. The media is losing their power. Big tech is losing a lot of their power as far as not their money and control, but their mind control, their ability to make you vote for the candidates you want to do, or their scientific policies that they want to convince you are settled science when they're really not. And they're freaking out. Joe Biden's freaking out. The media is freaking out. They're exposing themselves more. And big tech, Facebook, Twitter, and Google, who want you to vote for Joe Biden really bad, trust me, are rigging people like me. I got 600 million views, and I have one of the biggest pages on Facebook, which is incredible. God is great. I'm still blessed to be here in front of 5.4 thousand people. That's incredible. But they've actually rigged my page. They've taken away my stars, so I can't make money. It's fine. I'm not crying about it. I'm just saying. They've taken away my ad revenue, which was a lot because I'm getting millions of views a week, or I was. And they also told me they're rigging my page. So this is what these freaks do when they can't compete with me, even though I have less money than them. I have less equipment than them. I have less advertising than them. They still can't beat me. So they just steal. And this is like all their policies. So if you like me, voting for Biden is like saying bye-bye anomaly. Only Trump and Republicans, even though they drag their feet on it, I think they get it now, only they even claim to try to stop big tech from doing what they're doing. With a Biden win, you have the media, you have the social media companies, you have all these new virtual reality companies. The biggest one is owned by Facebook, Oculus Rift. You have them all working hand in hand with who would be the president of the United States, Joe Biden. So this is a nightmare. This is a sci-fi Orwellian nightmare if Trump weren't to win. And they're already, it's not even like they're debating me. They're trying to cancel me and close me out to the point where I can't even be part of the discussion. Brett Weinstein, who honestly I find really annoying, but I do kind of like him, but he's pretty annoying. He's like, he was a super liberal, progressive teacher at Evergreen or whatever that super hipster school is. My friend went to it. He said he loved it. But Facebook today deleted Weinstein's, I think maybe it's Eric Weinstein or Brett Weinstein. I get the two confused. But they deleted his Facebook page. This guy's a far left progressive who just calls out the far left progressives because they're insane. He's a Jewish professor who worked at a liberal university, and they start turning against him. They're like, don't show up to work. White people can't come. He's freaking out. So he's still far left in his mind, but he got ousted by the far left people. So he started talking about it. He went on Joe Rogan. We disagree on almost nothing when it comes to policy, but I want the guy to have a voice. And if he can't even talk, you can't even be far left if you call out big tech. You can't even talk bad about the censorship. They want like a total authoritarian control. So God bless Trump for crushing this debate, and I hope people are paying attention. True versus false, good versus evil, real versus fake have never been different. And I don't want to sound crazy, but with virtual reality starting to make a play in our lives, and whether you want to believe it or not, this is virtual reality. I'm talking into my phone, you're watching me. This was not possible 20 years ago, probably not even 10 years ago. So besides television before that, we're entering a phase that's going to be even more controlled by virtual reality. They're phasing out real jobs with this COVID and trying to, funnel it all into their great reset plan that they've written about many times. And people say it's a theory, but they have books about it. It's called COVID-19, The Great Reset, written by the founder of World Economic Forum, if you want to check that out. But in general, this is a big election. So if you don't know true versus false, real versus fake now, and I don't know what to tell you. The future is going to be a lot crazier. So this is a pivotal point. I thought the debate was fantastic, and that's my breakdown of what I wrote. Let me see what you guys think. I'm going to answer probably a few questions. Let me see what time it is, and then I'm going to take off. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for supporting. And since Facebook has taken a lot of my revenue, it's not a big deal. I have Patreon, and I also have dreamrare.com where you can get a hat or a shirt. These hats are sold out. But there's other ones, I think. And this is actually, I moved it down a little bit. This is like the first one. I got hats on hats. So many hats, I can't even think straight. But thank you guys for watching. Dreamrare.com if you want to check out my merch. Let's see. Shavin said they hate that information can spread like this. Oh, for sure. Anything that they can't control, they hate. And this is a big trick that they try to say. They act like they're the scientists that you can't disagree with. Listen, if it weren't for disagreeing scientists, you'd never have DNA being discovered. Watson and Crick didn't do what every other scientist did. They did their own thing. And same with, the Wright brothers. It's science, it's engineer, call it what you want, an invention. But people put certain ideas into motion and everyone else couldn't do it because they were innovative. It's not a popularity contest. So just because there's thousands of government scientists like Fauci who says one thing and then they say the other thing, there's no such thing as you can't disagree, especially with something as complex as the climate of the planet. There's a debate to be had, and Trump answered it perfectly. It's like you guys act like you know everything, but then you put together a deal that doesn't even stop some of the biggest polluters. So how's it going to change the planet? It's not. They're just brainwashing people into being like complacent sheep. Put this on your face. Don't talk. Don't ask questions. Don't critically think. Don't, have common sense. And if you do, if you think outside the lines and ask a question, you're grounded. You're banished from society. You're kicked off YouTube. This is like school indoctrination times 30. But let's see what we got. Brooke said, "Thank you for keeping it real. Appreciate it, Brooke. God bless you." Pitch Black said, "Do you think Trump is going to rebound in voting and win?" I can't predict like how everyone feels, but I think there's a lot of trends that are looking good for him. I'll tell you a few trends. First one is voter registration. You can't tell how someone's going to vote. You could just, make a poll that's probably fake or just guess, but you can see voter registration. This is real data that is published and everybody can see. It's open knowledge. In all the key battleground states, Trump, since I think this year, whenever they do the metrics, 1 year or 4 years, he's ahead in more voter registrations for Republicans in almost every battleground state. So that's a good sign. I'm not sure that the early voting, there's going to be more Democrats who vote early. So if you see them ahead now, that's, most Republicans or a lot of them are waiting till closer to the election and going in. So I honestly, from what I've seen, just being straightforward, I've seen a lot of Democrats who aren't so pumped with what's going on. And I'm not saying that it couldn't go either way, but I see a lot of people saying, whoa, we were supposed to be way more ahead now. Like this is not that, this is not as big as we thought it was going to be. So the Democrats were always going to have more early votes, but I don't think the gap of what they wanted is as big as they thought it was going to be. And I'm even seeing Pod Saves America, who's a big Democrat, podcast. They're even saying Trump can win. I see a lot of Democrats setting up for the narrative that Trump could possibly win. I think it could be a landslide, honestly. I mean, I hope it's a fair election. I hope they do a good job counting as such, but I think there's a possibility that he wins way bigger than they're saying. I mean, I think he's 2 times, if not 3 times, as popular as he was in 2016. And I think Joe Biden's a worse candidate. If it wasn't, all he has is like, COVID's bad, COVID's horrible, I'll be the guy who saves you from COVID, fear, doom, gloom, this is horrible. You know, he said it's going to be a dark winter. It's a dark winter. It's like, what? Who is this dude? A demon from hell? Or like, is he like a evil magician or something? I dub this the dark winter. This is the dark winter. I was like, dude, he said that, like, these people are such evil manifestors. It's dark. Trump's like, I don't think it's going to be a bad winter. They're setting up for such bad numbers, but the numbers are going to be worse because the flu season's always worse in the winter. Why wouldn't COVID season be worse in the winter? But this way of counting cases and counting deaths is crazy. It's never going to end because they're counting wrong. They're counting loosely, and it's everywhere. If you got a test for the common cold, and I'm not saying the common cold's worse than COVID, it's not, but I'm just saying if you got tested this much, and then you died with it, and then they said you died of it, like they're doing with COVID, you'd see those numbers. If they tested for, you know, the flu as much as they've tested this, the numbers would go up even further. I'm not saying that this is, then they're going to fact check me and say I said this is the flu. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is mass testing equals more cases. More cases with how they're counting equals more deaths. You could die of cancer and they know that COVID played no part, but they'll say you died of COVID if they find COVID in you. And they could diagnose you as COVID positive without even giving you a test. They could say, well, you were, and this is not my opinion. This is on the CDC website of how they're testing. If you're somewhere that there was COVID and you have a cough, they could say you have COVID-19. I'm not making this up. This is why I did videos about this all year. They have 10 million views. This is why they try to take away stuff from my page, because I do the real journalism, okay? I'm going to give myself, here, where's a pen? Hold on. I'm going to, instead of Pulitzer, I'm just going to do Bulitzer. Bulitzer, I'm just going to write down, I'm going to give myself a Bulitzer prize because I don't want to get sued. I just gave myself a Bulitzer prize because my journalism's better than everybody on that list who's going to win this year. But it's okay. I'm not even a journalist, and I'm out here doing, you know, pieces that are only rivaled by Tucker Carlson, but it's okay. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm just saying I know I'm never going to get the award, so I just gave myself an award. So this is now an award ceremony. I appreciate you guys. First off, I want to thank God. Second off, I want to thank, you know, my mom and dad. Third, I want to thank Facebook for rigging my page away because it only inspires me to sell more hats and, you know, write a book about how lame they are. So I appreciate y'all. All right, let's read a few more, and then I got to get dinner for me and my friend. Let's see who we got here. What's up, McKenna? Sarah Ennis said all these news stations completely hating Trump before and after the debate. That's all they do. It's just like a mind control structure where he's hilarious. How could you watch that debate and not laugh your ass off and just be like, Joe Biden's a phony? But whatever. What's up, Tara? Danielle said, my workplace is forcing me to take a COVID test and I have no symptoms. That's what I'm saying. If they tested anything as much as this, the numbers are going to go up. The more you test, the more you find. The more you find and someone dies, then look at the overall deaths number. I'm not going to make predictions because they'll fact check and lie about what I said, but look at the overall deaths this year and look when the year's over at the overall deaths. You're not, I can almost guarantee it, but I can't. Let's see. You're not going to see this astronomical increase in deaths. Just like name a state that doesn't do the mask mandates. Is South Dakota or millions of people dying? No, South Dakota is doing better than a lot of states. Sweden's doing better than America and 7 or 8 lockdown countries. I mean, name one country in Africa or somewhere else that's just astronomically dying because they didn't listen to the World Health Organization. It doesn't exist. That's why you're seeing these stupid articles that are like, why? It's almost like COVID was on a world tour and they're pissed off that Africans aren't dying. They're like, I can't figure out why Africans aren't dying. We told them they were going to die if they didn't listen to us. They're acting like COVID's a world tour. COVID coming here soon. And they're like, it's coming to kill you in Africa. And then Africa does, you know, better than a lot of European, countries. And they're like, scientists are perplexed why Africans aren't dying because there is no data. Where's the data? Where's the country that just everybody's dying because they didn't lock down? Sweden didn't lock down. Sweden didn't do a mask mandate. I mean, it's just common sense, folks. I'm just going to say this. Well, fact check, and I only can't say that because Anthony Fauci said that. Who cares, okay? Anthony Fauci's entitled to his platform. I'm entitled to mine. I'm a germ freak. I don't like touching doorknobs. When there's a public doorknob, I somehow play this sometimes, and I grab it with my shirt, okay? So I'm not into germs. I don't put my hands near my face, okay? I don't do this. I don't put my hands on my mouth. That's disgusting. That's how you get sick. Say this is a mask. You reuse it. You put it down. Someone grabs it for you. You use it 5 or 6 times. you're putting what you just put on your hand, what you just put on the table, what you just put here, what you just put there. Someone, at Whole Foods, they say, here, you need a mask. And they put their hand all over it and they hand it to me. It's like, I don't want your disgust. No offense. Maybe you wash it, but I don't want your hands in my mouth. Okay. I don't know you that well. I just met you. Here, you need this mask. My mask could be dripping with shit. Like literally poop could be dripping off my mask. And I'd be like, can I not wear this? Like, sir, for your own safety and health, you need to wear that mask. They don't care what's on it. They don't care how dirty. That's not science, folks. That's like mass slavery, brainwash conditioning. It's like, I don't like putting things on my face. I'm not sick. I haven't been sick in years because I take care of myself and do all the remedies that they tell you are fake. So I feel fantastic, okay? I drink coffee with cacao in it. I'm not bragging. Is that even healthy? I don't know. It tastes good though, but you get what I'm saying? It's disgusting. There's people that wear masks for 2 weeks, in 90-degree weather. It's like, that's not good for your health. Give me a break. But you can't even think that. This is what they want to create, guys. You can't even question. Not only do you have to do it, which is bad enough, you can't even question it, even though Anthony Fauci himself questioned it earlier this year. He told you the truth earlier this year. He flipped around, and now you can't even say what he said. Well, in January, was he new to the job? Anthony Fauci's only like 70, 80, or 90 years old. I don't even know how old he is. God bless his soul. Is he new to the job? No, he's been there for decades. So did he learn something? No, they've dealt with SARS. They've dealt with infectious diseases. They've dealt with stuff far deadlier, and I'm sure they've dealt with stuff that is far more contagious. So he told you the truth in in January or February, and then he's flip-flopped, and now you can't even agree with what he said. He wasn't new then. This is the craziest part. You can't even think that. Well, then why did he think it? I'm not an expert, although I probably am more honest than him. He's been there for decades. What part of this did he... It's such a freaking joke, but you can't even think it. You can't even protest the lockdown. This is like such a joke, folks. All right, 2 more questions I'm just going to read, and then I'm out. They'll probably kick me off tomorrow. I don't even care anymore. I got 600 million views. This is a testament to God. 600 million views, still one of the biggest pages, still getting more numbers than 99.999% of your puppets, and you've rigged my page. I'd probably have 12,000 people here if they didn't rig my page. I'm not kidding. They literally rigged my page. Now, I used to get 4,000 comments on certain, I'd say something, it'd have 5,000. It was kind of scary. I'm like, I'm too big. You know what I'm saying? It's too big of a movement. Maybe it's good that they shut me down a little bit. We needed to calm it down. But I'm out here getting like 20,000 shares, 50,000 shares, and they're like, Anomaly needs to lose that because he's more honest than us. Yeah, right. All your fact checkers libeled me. That's libel. Hopefully I don't find a lawyer that actually can actually listen to me and listen to my case, because they libeled me over a CDC post. I can't post NBC News. NBC News is too edgy for you. I can't post a CDC cutout from Ron DeSantis. These people want you to be a slave, literally. They're like, wear a mask. It's a big spike in Florida. They still haven't killed as many people as New York. Okay, look at the data. New York, the death per capita is still worse than Florida. You could talk about Florida. I could talk about New York. But they want to rewrite history with their brainwash book. Cuomo's the best. No, he's not. Besides Murphy, he did the shittiest job in deaths per capita. That's a fact. And it's not even that they want to write that book. Write your stupid book that's fake. That's fine. I'll write my book. It'll be better. But they don't even want you to be able to say that. Oh, Hunter Biden did something. Delete. It's like 1984, folks. You can't even post it on Twitter. It's like, warning, Twitter doesn't want you to post this because this is not what it said, but this is what they're thinking. Warning, do not post this because we want Joe Biden to win the election at all costs. And God forbid you actually show proof of what he did, because we claim that Trump did it with no proof. What a joke these people are. Sorry. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate you. God bless you, Lynn. And I want to say this before I leave. Sorry, I kind of overstayed my welcome, but I appreciate you guys the most. Okay, this was never supposed to happen. There wasn't supposed to be a citizen hip-hop artist, journalist / person who has the best hats at dreamrare.com. Get one for yourself. They never wanted me to come here and win. So I appreciate people like Lynn who say, I'll listen to you because you're truthful. Because I don't even know. My email list is at the top, stayintouchwithme.com. Sign up, because I don't know. Maybe I'll have to take this show to talk radio. Maybe I'll take it to television. Maybe I'll write books all the time. Maybe I'll write children's books. Maybe you'll see me, shout out. I want to say, Shel Silverstein, this is a good guy, okay? I might start writing children's books inspired by Shel Silverstein and just start handing out the kids' poems. And I want to say, if Shel Silverstein was alive and he was in New York City, you'd have Andrew Cuomo trying to lock him up and saying, you can't even go to your kids can't go to school today. It's like, the way he's treating Jews in New York is just disgusting. But, who knows what I might do. So I appreciate you guys for supporting. because I don't know how long I'm going to last here. It was too good. This is the biggest social network in human history. I was one of the biggest pages on it. I got 600 million views, and they're mad. And I get why they're mad, because they're phony losers. And when somebody who's not a phony loser, like myself or Trump, comes into the equation, we just dominate. And I think a lot of people saw that today. Biden, phony, creepy eyes. Trump, authentic eyes, funny guy. Nice guy, better energy. Biden, angry. Women who had like abusive boyfriends are probably having flashbacks from like, he's like the way he's yelling. It's like, it's all creepy. But God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. I'm going to get some dinner and I'm back to work. I actually have a video for tomorrow. I went to Yosemite, the park. It was very smoky, but beautiful. Had the time of my life. Traveled with a friend there who wanted to go. Took videos and I'll show you them. And I also am going to do a breakdown about all the logs that are there. I got a bunch of dead trees. So even when I'm not working, I'm working. I appreciate you guys for giving me the opportunity to have a flexible schedule to do stuff like that. And maybe I'll start doing more stuff like that. I don't know, but I'll probably just do the videos from here. But sometimes it's good to go to the scene and get some footage yourself. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful night. I'll be back very soon. God bless you.